So I'm doing this video as a response to a post I put up on Instagram asking people type of content and posts they'd like on my Instagram and they'd like to see more of. So I'm going to actually be posting these on IGTV and also on YouTube as well. So one of the questions I want to answer today, why weight fluctuation isn't a bad thing. As far as weight fluctuation, your body tries really hard to maintain homeostasis. So what that means is that your body is going to try to stay within a specific range. Anybody who's weighed themselves consistently knows that your body weight isn't the same every morning when you weigh yourself. It fluctuates within a couple, well, I wouldn't say a couple of pounds, but it fluctuates within a pound, generally speaking, for most people. Depending on yourself and your body type, you could also go up a couple pounds towards the nighttime, so it's important to weigh yourself at the same time. Myself, I go up like 5 pounds between morning and night, and I look significantly different. So I always check in the morning just so everything's consistent. The amount of food I've had is consistent, which is 0. If you weigh yourself consistently, you'll notice that your weight stays within a certain range. So what I like to do is I input my weight into a sheet and it calculates the average for that week. Now I have that average that I can compare to other weeks. So if your goal is weight loss, you want that to be trending downward. If your goal is weight gain, you want that number to be trending upward. And if your goal is to maintain your weight, you want to keep that number the same from week to week, or roughly the same. It's going to be very difficult to keep the exact same weight average. This is completely normal. And what's going to happen as let's say someone's trying to lose weight, their weight is going to fluctuate day to day. And this can cause a lot of stress for people, especially people who haven't weighed themselves consistently or it's a new thing to them. It's going to be very stressful if you're trying to lose weight and you keep losing, and then your weight either stalls or you have a high day or something like that. That can be extremely stressful. So it's important to have those weight averages so that you know that your weight's trending in a specific direction. You also have other stops in place such as metabolic adaptation. Once you reduce your calories, you're going to lose weight for a given period of time. Your body adapts to that caloric intake, and it will make that new caloric intake your actual maintenance in order to, as a survival mechanism. So what you need to do now is further lower your calories. So now if you are losing weight for a couple weeks and then your weight loss stalls, don't freak out. Just know that that is a natural occurrence, and now you may have to adjust further. And as far as overfeeding goes, so if you say what I do with my clients is I give a free meal, but say you had an off day and you just overate food, it is unlikely, you most likely are going to wake up maybe even a couple pounds heavier the next day. Most likely, especially if you're dieting, it's actually just going to be a lot of water from the higher ingested salt, especially if you ate, you normally eat foods that you cook at home and then you ate out. There's going to be a lot more sodium in those foods that you eat out. So that your likelihood for water retention is much higher. So you're probably going to wake up like 5 pounds heavier, and that's okay. Don't freak out. There are stops in play that also, again, your body wants to maintain homeostasis. So there are things that are going to prevent you from gaining 5 pounds in one sitting. Now, if you chronically overfeed, then that will happen. But I believe there's a study, if I can find it, I'll put up on the screen, that showed when individuals overfed with carbohydrates, they gained they stored about 10% of those carbohydrates as fat. When they overfed with fat, they stored about 60% of that ingested fat as fat tissue. Now, if you're going for an average, most foods that are highly palatable that you may eat at a restaurant or eat out are going to have both fat and carbohydrate, maybe in equal caloric amounts or somewhere similar. So if you're going the mid-range, that's 35% of your ingested food stored as fat. If you do this acutely, you're probably going to store no more than a quarter pound of fat, maybe even a half pound. But you got to understand there that it's actually more important what you do the days following that overfeeding. Don't see your weight go up 5 pounds and then drop your calories and do a bunch of cardio. It's just going to set you up for failure in the future. Just get back on track, and the likelihood of you storing that extra ingested food is very, very low. So I hope that helps. This is a brief little rundown of weight fluctuations. If you need more elaboration, just leave it in the comments and I'll answer. And I will probably be covering this topic in more depth in the future, but I just wanted to get the answers to these questions up really quickly so your questions can be answered. Thanks again.